Hello, curling fans, and welcome to the RME New Holland Alberta Women's Summit of Champions, brought to you by Sentinel Storage. We're coming to you live out of Okotoks, Alberta, with this, the fourth and final qualifying match to try to get into the Page playoffs. We know that Serena Greyweathers is in. We know that Selena Sturmey is in. This is Myla Plett versus Emily Deschiffart. And then qualifier 3 is happening over on the neighboring sheet. Feel free to watch the line scores, take a peek in, whatever tickles your fancy. We got lots going on today. All right, so as we say, this is the last and final life to make it to the playoffs. We've got the north of Alberta versus the south of Alberta. And we are on our way. So Myla Plett through first. Deschiffart had hammer. And they already went for the gun. We got a tight guard. And then we got play going around the guard. So we're certainly not going to have a lazy first end. So that's always nice to see. My name's Gord Coppathorpe. In the background is Connor. He is the master of ceremonies, the producer, camera wizard, etc. Dan Babola, I believe, is joining as well. Are you out here yet, Dan? All right. Well, we'll let you know when Dan shows up. All good. This is men's and women's qualifier this year. Kind of a new venture for Curling Alberta. So you can see on the neighboring sheet, the men are playing. They as well, I believe, are in the final 2 qualifying matches. And then we'll all roll into the standard Page playoff. First and second play, winner goes to final. Loser of that plays the winner of 3 and 4. So plenty of exciting things to go. All right, so first in here, we are up to, let's see here, second rock. So that makes this Bethany Evans, I do believe. And we got Sarah Yarmuch, Abby Desmoro as the sweepers for this one. The house, of course, manned by Emma Deschiffart. Ooh, little narrow, clip the guard. They have hammers, so never a bad thing to get rid of the guard. Would have been nice to get rid of the yellow in the house, but still making progress. That is Myla Plett in the house right now, manning the helm for her group of herself. Alyssa Nedowin at third, Chloe Fediuk at second, and Ali Askew at lead. This is Chloe with her second shot, looking to try to pop that middle red one out of the mess. Ooh, also clips the front one. Managed to move the red, which makes getting rid of it later easier. Certainly didn't want to lose their own. We have seen these sheets been fairly lively around, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday. They textured the rocks and cleaned up the ice a little bit so that the curl was plentiful throughout the week. So you do see the occasional crash front one. Bit of a learning curve. First couple days were about a foot less curl. By now they should have that sorted out, but it is the first end. Rolling along here into third rock. Oh, no. This is, Bethany's second rock. Looking to make a corner guard out of that yellow one. Valiant effort. Good learning curve for draw weight. You always got to be mindful in the first couple ends when you're going inside out. That is a fresher path. Practice ice is always outside in. So those get a little bit faster. So inside out will be a quarter second heavier. Myla's just going to keep it clean. Take out a red. This is Alyssa Nedowin. Her first shot of the game. Little speed wobble there. Ali on the inside sweep. On the line. One red gone. And actually nudges the other red tighter underneath. Good news for them. The double would still hit that red. So Emma has to be a little bit careful how she wants to play this. So playing the wider yellow first so that you hit it higher should go underneath the red that just got pushed under the yellow. Keeping that red one would be pretty important here. This is Abby Desmoro. Oh, a little bit of an overcurl there. Ooh, rather unfortunate. Roll the wrong direction. Sets up a double takeout if Myla decides to go after it. Sorry to go quiet there for a second. We're just cleaning things up a little bit in the background. Sorry about that. Just doing a little bit of housekeeping in the background. Emma looking to remove the yellow one. Nose hit. That's, yeah, a little roll away would have been ideal to keep the play at that side stuff a little bit different. High enough that that double's pretty difficult. Myla's likely just going to try to roll over towards that mess, hopefully getting a chance to. Well, I guess she's sitting second. Doesn't need to. She could split the house for a force. This is Myla's first of the end in the game. Hit and roll either direction. It's going to overcurl a bit, so we're going to swing it over to the other side or plant it right in the middle. Does possibly bring that double into play. You don't even need to make a double. You only need to move that yellow one, call it 2 inches. So, yeah, I don't think Myla was really looking to leave it there. But such is life. That's where it ended up. Again, we're seeing a decent amount of curl, more than anyone else seems to be expecting. All right. Emma Deschiffart looking to hit and roll into that pile. Right beside the yellow, nudge the yellow over, just a hair, something in that ballpark. Don't get too carried away or you leave a double back. Emma's first shot of the first end of qualifying match number 4 coming down. Looking for a little roll. 1, 2. Couldn't quite decide what to do with that one. Did get that yellow over, so they're sitting 2. I think they rolled low enough. I don't know. No, that double is still there. The red may push up into the other yellow, but that's of little consequence. Anyways, Myla looking to get rid of this one. This is the flatter turn, so you should bounce pretty high into the side of the second red. And goal, of course, to be to push it beyond at least the top yellow one. Past them both would be ideal. You'd be sitting 3. Last shot here by Myla Plett. Chloe and Allie on the sweep. On it early. Maybe jumped it a bit. A little more weight than they're expecting. There's one. Oh, sticks it. Jumped the sweep early. Maybe there was more weight than they were after. Regardless, one red in the corner, but that leaves Emma Deschiffart with the wide open hit for 2. She does have room to roll in towards the center of the house. Wouldn't want to roll any to the right. Bring your yellow and red one into a mess. But anyways, anything nose or a little short of nose, roll into the middle, score your 2. Early sweep by the front end. Let it up now. Must be close. There's your hit. Little flop. All is good. 2 on the board for red and an early 2-0 lead for Deschiffart. We'll be right back.
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Need extra space? We rocket storage. Try 4 weeks free at a location near you.
Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Curling Alberta's 50/50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $50,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.
Welcome back, everybody. This is end number 2 of qualifying match number 4 here on Sheet C in Okotoks. We've got Myla Plett playing against Emma Deschiffart. These two teams are no strangers to each other, but right now they sure want to keep kicking each other in the ankles as they try to make it into the Page playoff. My name is Gord Copperthorne. With me on the other mic is Rhett. Say hello, Rhett.
Well, how are you doing there, Gord?
Well, I'm having a pretty good day. I haven't spent too much time in Okotoks, but hey, it's been a great competition. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I've been able to spend the week up here doing a couple commentaries and watching some pretty good curling action. I've been amazed all week at the shot making on both men's and women's side, and the crowds have been full, so you can never complain when you're watching curling.
Well, that's great to hear. Curling Alberta's putting on a show this week. That's always nice. Curious if the men's and women's combined format would work or not, but by the sounds of it, we got a good thing going. All right, so the first end, Deschiffart put 2 on the board, a bit of a back and forth. Got a little bit of an error out of Myla. Stuck her last one, made it easy for the 2. But all in all, it was good shot making. So rolling into 2 here, Myla clearly has hammer. And I believe, well, chatting away, I didn't see where she put her guard, but I'm pretty sure she put up a corner guard. Let's see what the screen says. Or maybe not. Emma must have slid their first one in the house and Myla would have taken it out. So there you go. A quasi corner guard. Emma, of course, can't hit that one yet, so might as well use it as a sort of center, sort of corner. I call those the hybrid guards. Nobody quite knows what they're useful for, but they help everybody out.
That's a good way to put it.
Back in the old days of straight ice, that would have been called a corner ice. But nowadays, when it curls 4 or 5 feet, it's kind of helpful and horrible to everybody.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed watching throughout the week is we've had some great ice conditions, good speed, good curl. So great curling to watch.
I was having a conversation with myself in the first end. Called one of the games on, I believe it was Wednesday, right after they sharpened the rocks. And it was a bit of a learning curve, but it sure did create more opportunity getting that extra foot and a half of curl.
Yeah, just something curlers have to catch up on. You get used to seeing a certain characteristics to all the sheets and then add a little bit of a texture to the rocks. And you kind of have to trust that it's going to jump that extra couple inches. So, but most teams catching on real quick. And
it was kind of funny. We almost saw them battling themselves. They're like, okay, I think it's going to curl more. So then take a little bit of ice, but then the thrower almost thought, oh, I got to throw it a little harder because it's curling more. And then it was 2 changes equaling a bad outcome. So they chased each other a bit, but that's called learning, right? Anyways, well, we got this sort of corner center guard coming into a lot of play. Emma was originally thinking go underneath and now thinking, nah, it's hurting. What's your thought here?
here, sorry, Gord, you just cut out on me there.
Oh, all right. I was just asking, Emma's flip-flopping between draw behind it or smash the guard. Where do you stand on this one?
I like just getting rid of the guards. You're 2 up. You had a good first end there. You're not looking to do anything crazy. So make Myla and her team make that first move.
And cracks off the double peel to boot. Rolls over to a better center. Here you go, Rhett. Call it out.
Yeah, watching right here, and couldn't have made that any better.
Catches one. There you go. Perfect. Yeah. 2 yellows in the corner. I'm curious where that red one rolled to. I haven't seen that yet. Oh, right dead on the center. Oh, that a triple win in that deal.
Yeah, it's about as good as a roll as you could have got out of that. So Team Myla Plett's going to have to do a little bit of work to keep that boost alive now.
Seems to be shifting gears and thinking, you know what, we'll just earn 2 down the middle. A little short on that one, though, so might have to deal with the back red later.
Yeah, I would have liked to at least get shot out of that one. Kind of gives Team Deschiffart here a freebie.
Bit of an unforced error. Not a huge error, but yeah, it definitely makes a little bit more complexity. If Emma gets this one in, shot rock, partially buried, Myla's life's going to be quite complicated. Sweepers are thinking on this one. It's kind of hanging out there.
Yeah, not quite coming in for them like they'd like.
Might be setting up a double if they're not careful here. Well, it's starting to bend. Well, can't make a double off of it, but it's certainly not a scary rock. You think you can get a little flip in underneath of it?
Yeah, I think you should be able to get to the inside. We're getting a good amount of curl, so you throw a nice tap weight here. I think I saw Myla gesture to like a back 4, back 8 weight. So just get a little flip to the inside. And
curious to see what Alyssa's rock here does after Abby's went so straight.
Yeah, I've been talking to some teams throughout the week, and they said it's kind of tricky in that 8-foot area. They found that rocks are just running on them, but gonna have to keep an eye out on this game for that.
Working for the curl. Certainly up close to nose. All right, straight back. That's not bad. Didn't push it far enough to be, really make that front yellow one valuable, but things could change. She's probably 3/4 open, almost edge on edge, so it's definitely hittable. I'm not going to roll in underneath on that one.
No, I think the main goal here for Abby DeZormo was just trying to get it out of play, sit 1, 2, 3, and really put the pressure on Myla and her rink.
Yeah, we got 3 rocks left, and you got to bury 2 of them around a single guard. I guess kind of a double guard with that yellow one that was short. Ooh, this has got some work to do. Might not stick around. Ooh. Well, whoops.
Yeah, I'm thinking Abby would like to have that one back. Not quite the outcome she would have wanted, and kind of gives Myla a chance here to call a nice little hit, and now she'll be sitting 2.
Yeah, the door is creeping open on a 3 or a 4. So hit and roll here. You'll be sitting 2. Calling it too heavy. You could theoretically do the super skinny double.
Yeah, the double's there, but as long as you sit here, it kind of changed the end up a bit, and ooh.
This week we've been calling that polite curling. Oh, you missed one? No problem. I'll miss 2. Let you have it back.
You know what? I'm going to use that one for the rest of the week here.
It's just been happening time after time after time. The door opens up, and the next shot is a return half, maybe half shot. It's like, ugh, deflated. So yes.
Yeah, that's one thing at this level, especially with how good teams are nowadays. When you get a miss, you have to capitalize on it, because not very often you're going to see that with this men's and women's field. So,
and that's those conversations are right ways to miss. That one was tough, but you almost could have seen them sweep it early to try to clip it thin and kiss the reds, and that hit and roll out didn't really do them a ton of good. Yeah. But it is still in the house, so we'll see. So looking to remove the shot rock yellow over here. Again, at this point, it's pretty much trying to force Myla one. And still struggling with getting the line on those hits. Yeah, you might make the argument they're overthrowing them.
Yeah, like I said, I was talking to a lot of the teams throughout the week here, and they say once you get kind of outside of that 4-foot, hits and draws are just running so straight. So I'm surprised we're not seeing a lot of teams throw that little bit of a lighter hit weight and just bring the curl into play, bring your sweepers into play.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised with the weight Emma threw on that one. Certainly needed to stick and play. Even rolling into the house, at least, makes Myla deal with it. Hitting and rolling out was a big freebie. But early in the game can suffer a bad end. It's not crippling at this point in time. So Myla looking to hit and stick. Probably roll a little bit towards center. Maybe knows it's a pretty tough double. Emma would definitely be rolling out. I don't think you want to roll. You just don't want to roll in front of the other yellow. That's about the only oops. So they toned the weight down a little bit, and they're on the sweep early.
Yeah, you see them scrubbing right out of the hand.
Whoop. There's that polite curling again.
Yeah, just after seeing a lot run so straight, might have been a little bit of an overcorrect there by Myla Plett.
Yeah, I agree. So, play cautious and let them have a good shot at the tie, or go for it and try to bury. I would say way too early for trying to bury one, but you could have.
Yeah, if it's later in the game and you really want to score here, then I can see that call. But I like what Emma's doing here. Just kind of hit this back yellow, take your medicine. Then you're going into 3 tied with hammer. So
there's also a bit of a learning opportunity here. You just missed this shot effectively. So hit this one nose and go, okay, that's how I do it now. Let's see what they come up with. Not a lot of attention from the sweepers. A little bit less weight than the first one. There you go. Call that a nose hit. That's a success in and of itself. Myla's got the free draw for 2 and a tie.
Yeah, lots of room here. Got the whole 8 foot, and
no backing of any sort, but you'd like to think at this point, when you're in qualifying game number 4, you'd like to think you can bite the 8 foot at the least.
yeah, that's one thing. Especially all the skips throughout the field, they get so good at is their draws, and you know what? You're confident in it, so you got all the room. You give it to your sweepers, and you let them dust it in for you.
Let's see what the ice is running. We got that one started on the watch. Not a lot of attention by Chloe or Allie. That's never reassuring. I got 14 on that, which should be plenty.
And makes it look easy.
There's 2 on the board for yellow and a tie game after 2. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at the RockShop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. The RockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the RME New Holland Alberta Women's Season of Champions qualifier out of Okotoks, brought to you by Sentinel Storage. We're coming to you live on Curling Stadium, part of the Curling Zone group. Glad to have you with us. Like it, love it, click it, share it, whatever you want to do. Hopefully you enjoy yourself today. I'm Gord with you, as well as Rhett. Just rolling along here into end number 3. First end was a bit of a busy drawing match, which then wrapped up in some hitting. And then the second end was a little bit cleaner, but kind of a trading of mistakes. Plate curling, as we were calling it. This one, I see Myla goes directly into the house. We've seen that a little bit this week. The team without hammer saying, hey, you choose how this plays out. Or they just threw it heavy. Sometimes hard to tell. Emma with the fairly wide corner guard, opposite to the hybrid, we're not sure what it was, guard in the second end. And now Myla's going to set up the more traditional center guard. So we'll see how it plays out. This one also seems like it's going a hair deeper than they are hoping. Starting to look like they're up by 4. Now that corner guard's not particularly scary, so Myla can get away with one of those.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rhett. Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, no, not a bad spot. You're still kind of in control of the house, having 2 in that key, as we call it as curlers. So no worries just yet.
Emma feels the pressure and says, let's get rid of at least one of them. It's a lot of weight for this kind of hit and roll. I guess they were preferencing the double, which was certainly there. I think I would have went after the roll more than the double. Getting over by that other red corner guard is how you would typically set up a 2. But they got a little bit of neither. All right, so Myla's now looking to take that one out and try to set up a center guard because she will be short of the house. For anyone counting, we will be outside the parameters of the 5 rock rule, but it'll be outside of the house, so it does still qualify as a guard. Once again, having a bit of a hard time getting the broom and the weight matched.
Yeah, just might be having a little bit of a struggle with the different spots on the ice. We've seen that with teams throughout the week, so it's gonna be the first team to catch on to it it's gonna benefit them a lot.
Or perhaps one of the teams chooses at some point to throw a few less hits. Hard to say. Right now we're playing about 60% takeouts. Emma looking to roll this one under that wide corner guard. Objective 1, get rid of the yellow.
A big sweep by Abby DeZormo out of the hand. Might have been a little soft of a release here.
So she rubbed her midsection, which normally would be called control. She threw 10-6, so that would be control weight. So I will agree with you completely. Must have been a bit wonky out of the hand.
Yeah, that's the one thing, especially with arena ice, I call it tattletale ice because it tells on you. If you don't throw it pure, it'll go.
I have no problem with that statement. I like that. There you go. We've traded colloquialisms. You get polite curling, and I'm taking, how did you just phrase that?
The tattletale ice.
Tattletale sheets. I like it. And when we were younger, you could get away with almost anything short of firing it sideways because it was straight and you could sweep it through anything. But on 5 feet of curl, yeah, you can't. All right. Still trading hits out here. Nobody's throwing too much caution into the wind. Not that there's a lot of rocks in play to deal with.
Yeah, being an odd end here, both teams are probably happy with just getting away with a blank. And you know what? Coming to an even, try and get a score. Myla will probably go into forward trying to steal, and Emma's probably going to go hard for a deuce. So
it's really quite fun. I share the microphone with a lot of different people, and some are emphatic about what end it is and who has hammer where and why. And some people are like, just score points and worry about that in the last 2 ends.
And you know what? I'm kind of the same as you. I've talked to people that don't give it much mind. I've talked to people that are textbook curlers and try to do it everything the same. And honestly, that's why I love curling so much, is there's no right way to play the game. It's called chess on ice for a reason.
Yes, there's a lot of different ways to approach every scenario. I remember having a conversation with Russ Howard one day, sitting in the living room, and he was laughing. He goes, "Oh, my daughter is curling in Saskatchewan, and they asked me if I could give them a hand with some of their playbook." And I said, "Sure." So they sent me a 2-inch binder describing all the different things they're going to do in specific situations. I just laughed. I'm like, where did the creativity go? That's actually why I like coaching mixed doubles a little bit more, because you can't quite script it the same way you can 4-man. So you got to be a lot more, on your toes, so to speak.
Yeah, and you know what? Mixed doubles is probably one of my favorite versions of the game here. And you see a lot of these 4-person teams go off and make mixed doubles teams for that very reason, is you learn so much from mixed doubles that you can even bring it into your 4-person game.
Yeah.
As thick as your playbook is, you know what? You're going to run into situations where you will look and be like, I have no idea what to do.
One of the subtleties as a coach that I really enjoyed is, call it 10, 15 years ago, you would be coaching juniors, teenagers, and they just want to smash everything. And then they would consider throwing draws if they couldn't smash something. But since mixed doubles has come along, and you can't just smash to your heart's content, it's actually flipping upside down. And I'm finding more and more juniors that don't want to hit anything unless they have to, which is, from fence, probably the better attitude.
Yeah, I can attest to that, because when I was playing U18, a lot of the teams, you would just see a lot of our games were hit, big high weight 9-8 and hits like that. And then now that I've come to the U20, we all kind of joke on the U20 circuit and say we've kind of smartened up a little bit. We bring the weight down, and you know what? You make a lot more shots that way. You bring your sweepers into play. You actually let that rock have a chance to curl, and so it's really interesting to see the change in the game so far.
Correct. I also say it's a bit about trusting more. People who like to just huck weight at any kind of a hit is basically saying, I don't trust anything. I'm just going to throw it and hope I hit the broom and hit the rock.
Yeah.
When you drop it down to, say, board or control, you're trusting you read the sheet right. You're trusting your sweepers read the weight right. You're trusting the person in the house calling the line's going to do it right. But once you've built all that trust, you're way more likely to make the shots than firing 8-second hits at everything.
Yeah, and the scary thing with a big weight hit like that is, you know what, you pretty much make it or miss it out of your hand.
Yeah.
Whereas when you throw that lighter weight, with the sweepers we have nowadays and with the brooms and stuff we have, you know what, you have a lot more control over that stone than you think.
Correct. Anyways, we're still trading rocks here. Emma thinking, hey, I really want a blank. Myla thinking, hey, I really hope you screw up your blank attempt, because they seem to be very content with just trading rocks right to the end. I will say they've gotten really good at nose hitting, so they've learned.
Yeah.
So Myla could roll over under that red corner guard. The danger, of course, being you get it a bit thin and roll completely out, and Emma doesn't even have to try on her last one. So it's kind of one of those, if the line is doing great, let's roll it over there. Nose is the right way to miss this.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it's that pro side miss. You know the way to miss. Of course, you want to make the shot all the time, but you got to think in the back of your head, hey, if we're going to miss this, what way is the best way to miss it?
And a lot of people think that's a thrower paradigm. I actually say it's as much the person in the house's paradigm. You know, the thrower wants to make the shot, and you're not going to intentionally throw it badly, but you got to ice it the right way, and you got to call the line the right way. That's where the pro side miss comes from. Anyways, nice clean removal of the red. So let's see if Emma has the rollout in the bank. This can sometimes be a shockingly complicated little throw. To our earlier statement, sometimes people go down there and think they need to break this rock and throw 7 at it. Let's see what they choose to do for a rollout. The handy stopwatch out. What's your guess? I'm going to go with 9.5. What's your guess?
I'm going to say probably around that 9.95 as well, because once again, it gives you that control, and you just have to worry about throwing the right weight and hitting your broom.
Survey says 7.8.
Ooh.
They wound up and heaved that one. And there's that risk. You change the ice for the more weight, and suddenly it doesn't do what you expect. But such is life. One on the board for red. That makes it a 3-2 game for Deschiffart. We'll be right back.
Curling Alberta's 50/50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $50,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Need extra space? We rocket storage. Try 4 weeks free at a location near you.
Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
our shot. Welcome back, everybody. This is the fourth end coming to you out of Okotoks, the Alberta Women's Qualifier. We have Myla Plett playing against Emma Deschiffart on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Both teams excited to be in a qualifier. The winner of this goes forward into the 3-4 match of the Page playoff, meaning the winner of that gets the loser of Sturbay and Greyweathers, but it doesn't mean you're still playing. After 3 ends, we've seen some drawing, not a lot of guards, and a whole lot of hitting. Moving into the 4th end, it's a 10-end game, so maybe we'll get a little bit more action going. It is an even end. They tend to be a little bit more busy. Rhett, that was your theory. This is going to be a busy end, right?
Yeah, just you hear a lot of teams at this level talk about having hammer in that even end or scoring in that even end. And so it benefits you because then in theory, if you can score in all the even ends, you have hammer in the last. So you'll see probably both teams go hard for a score here, but it is still early. So if things start to get a little dicey, there's nothing saying you can't, okay, let's bail and try again in another end.
So in that line of thinking, the last rock by Deschiffart, would that be, hey, we want a tight guard, but if it slides in, okay, fine? Or was that just a missed throw?
Yeah, probably a little bit of a missed throw. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's not a bad shot that you slid in a little bit, but I'm thinking they're looking for a guard there.
Yeah, certainly not taking advantage of the 5-rock rule yet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you see lots of times where a half or a long halfway guard gets to be a headache as much as anything.
Yeah.
All right, well, looking to put the guard back up here, ignoring that outside yellow for now. They do have one red in the house. Likely shot. I didn't get a good view of it. Myla's team rolled a little far on the hit and roll. Weren't able to take advantage of the corner. It is wide open on the outside. This is Bethany Evans' attempt at a guard. Still seems to be sliding a little more than they're expecting. Over curling now.
Yeah, a little more curl than they would have expected, but again, we talk about that pro side miss. So you over curled, but essentially you have choked off that draw to the corner guard, and you're still open. So even if Myla Plett, she's calling here for Chloe to make this hit and roll, even if you make it, you always have one of your own that you can use. You can tap, you can run back, you can do something with. So, of course, you'd love to make that shot, but like we keep bringing up, that pro side miss.
Yeah, you'd definitely prefer to be a over-curled center guard than an under-curled corner guard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is a nice roll here by Chloe. Got a piece of it, but nothing you're going to chase yet. Emma electing to go and play on this outside yellow. A bit of risk management as well as, hey, you can get shot rock out of it.
Yeah, Emma's thinking here, you know what, hey, let's have a chance. Let's get shot rock. And also, if I can roll to the center, I'm going to shrink that scoring area. So making it really hard for Myla to get that deuce. So I really like this call here.
Yeah. It was very shrewd of them to leave it for the first end. Or sorry, for the last rock, I should say. Don't chase it right away.
Big scrub by Abby DeZormo to get by the guard.
Oosh. Gets the yellow out. Red's still rolling. It's going to stay in play, but it does end up second shot. Myla's shot, top of the 4. Very dangerous place to be. Got 2 guards over here to work with that are acting basically like corner guards. So she's just going to sneak around everything and really put the pressure on.
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing there with rolling to the back of the house is now if, say, later in the end, Team Deschiffart does take on that little run from their own red, it could potentially come up as a catcher. So that red rock in the back of the house almost helping Team Plett over Team Deschiffart.
Yes, those catchers can be dangerous things.
You know what? I hate to say it, but I know it all too well from being on the wrong side of a catcher.
Little bit heavy here. Does manage to keep it for second, but also gives backing for a lot of different choices. You could freeze that. You could try the run back. I'm not sure I'd go after the run back right now. It is your own color. You could draw underneath of those, or underneath that yellow, or even freeze the back one and just keep taking away real estate. My fear of the run back is if you miss it, suddenly Plett's looking at, hey, 3.
Yeah. The only benefit with the run back here is, if you do miss it, you are opening things up and gives you a chance to make a double or two to save yourself. But
this is fair.
But also, like you just said, you miss it there, and now Myla has a chance to sit 3 with hammer. So
Myla's got 1 corner guard to work with. You are correct. Both of her shot rocks are accessible. But if I'm her, I'm kind of thinking, you know what? You try your shots at these doubles, and I'll just make sure I'm getting at least 2 and give myself the lead in an even end. I actually don't mind her going to the open side either. The, first reaction might be curl under your corner guard, but now you're kind of grouping your yellows into one area. Splitting that right there, right? But now you try the double on the front yellow, and there's lots that it can run into.
Yeah, that's why I almost like the first call there Myla was looking at, is that little bit of the tap with the flop.
Sure, split.
Because you get your rock under cover, but you're also giving that space of your stones to make those doubles as hard as you can.
Yeah, split would be a brilliant shot here. Lay 3 and spread them out around the 8-foot. This is Alyssa and Edwin looking to bury this one under their corner guard. Sweepers must think it's decent. They're kind of on and off, but not killing themselves over it. Switching to Allie for the curl. Do they have a piece of that front one? I don't think they do. It's just going to be a bit of a dead duck. Or a sitting duck, maybe. It is third rock, though. Not going to call that bad. Maybe.
No, it's a good outcome because you sit for your third shot and you're basically telling Emma here, hey, now ball's in your court. Now you have to make something to get yourself out of trouble. So
I think they ended up third. It's pretty close with the back red, but I think they are third. Oof, that looked a little bit like Abby got this one started. There's the first contact. Ooh, goes over the top of the back one and only gets a single with a rollout. That's almost extra dangerous because now that draw underneath and you got the Carlin Jones Christmas tree under the corner guard.
Yeah, that's the big thing there with that shot is you have to, like, we sound like I sound like a broken record because I keep bringing it up. Missing on that pro side is, you know what, you want to make sure if you're not making the double, you're at least keeping a rock around the rings. So it's something that Alyssa and Edwin would have had to look at.
Correct. That rollout was a costly mistake. This could be a lot of yellows on the board this end, but there's still 4 rocks to go. Alyssa looking to just get past, but it's kind of going off the side. This might be the polite return. Oof. Man, if that gets by, this is a terrible end for Deschiffart, but now they might be able to get away with that. They're looking to see if it catches on the back red. Now you could even nose it and double the back yellow out. You could get it thin and double the front 2 out. There's choices.
Yeah, I think Team Plett might have just been caught a little off guard because both rocks down that path coming up a little light. So just a little different path might be getting them fooled, but you know what? You take your medicine, you learn from it, and
I was mentioning that even before you came on, when you're throwing inside out, I as a sweeper always say picture it a quarter second heavier because you don't see rocks take that path very often. Now later in the game it balances out, but certainly early inside out tends to be a bit heavier. All right, well, Emma looking to remove 2 yellows from play. What do we got? There's 1, there's 2. That's a pair of yellow in the corner. Shooter sticks around, but does drift out there, giving Myla the chance to sit 2. Part of me wondered if they would try the double on the back yellow to keep their red in the top of the house.
Yeah, that would. I would have maybe preferred to do that, but you know what? The top 2 yellows were lined up and they were going no matter what. So
it was easier for sure.
Yeah, I think Emma just looked at it and said, "Hey, we got to do a little bit of damage control here. You don't want to give up a 3, so try and get as many yellows as you can out and maybe get a miss from Team Plett." And
well, Myla looking to follow Alyssa down. This is the 3rd rock down this pass, so they better be mindful that it's no longer going to be a quarter second heavy. Sweepers also thinking, not so much. It is coming down.
Yeah.
It is going to stick around. Excellent T-line weight. Let's see what the line turned out to be. Well, we can call that 3/4 buried, most likely. Maybe at least half, so not something Emma's willing to go after.
yeah, Myla would have liked to have that maybe a rock or 2 lighter, but not a bad shot nonetheless. It does give Emma the chance to freeze here and cut down that area, but nonetheless, it's buried and you're forcing Emma to make a shot here.
Yeah, we have an opportunity for anything from -1 to +3 for Myla at this point. These freezes can save an end or haunt you all night long. All right, Emma looking to follow Myla down and put it right on the corner of that yellow one, as overlapped as they can make.
Should have a pretty good idea of the speed here, as she just would have watched the 3 of Team Plett's rocks come down the same path. So
Sweepers seem to like it, taking a bit of a break. It's got some curling to do. Clearly past the guard. Coming in nicely. What a nice throw by Emma Deschiffart there.
yeah, that's about as good as you could have made that. Sitting on the corner of it, so sitting shot rock.
So there you go. She's made it where the score is going to be ±1. What a brilliant little draw. To your point, Myla thinking, man, I wish mine had stopped 2 feet higher.
Yeah.
But it didn't. So this is Myla's draw for 1 to wrap up the 4th end here and try to make it a tie game.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how all it takes is 1 rock and an end, and it can flip either way.
Last rock of the 4th end on its way. Myla Plett on the throw. Chloe and Allie on the sweep. Alyssa in the house watching the party. Not a lot of risk in this one line-wise. Just need it fully in the 4. 14-7. That should be darn close. Still going, letting it up. Piece of the button. That's a tie game, folks. 3-3 after 4. We'll be right back.
This needs to be the fastest last-minute pregame snack run ever seen.
That's right. The fans of great taste are going wild.
Can he make it? Yes! He's done it! Original 16. You can celebrate every win.
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Need extra space? We rocket storage. Try 4 weeks free at a location near you.
Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Welcome back, everybody. This is quarterfinal action at the Alberta Women's Provincial Championship. We're coming to you on Curling Stadium, part of the Curling Zone group. Hopefully you're enjoying what's going on, and maybe drop a like or a follow. After 4 ends, it's been kind of almost like a little game of hand slaps. They keep taking turns, but no one's really coming away with too much damage. Myla finally putting up a nice center guard to start this end off. Emma is electing to go right around it into the can. It's actually been interesting. It's been about a 50-50 split on games I've called, where team with hammer goes for corner guard or in. And we were starting to speculate if that was to do with which end it was, even or odd. Thoughts?
Yeah, so like I said last ends and even ends, you're gonna see both teams go for a score, and we've seen that. And all it was is a couple of Team Deskiffart's guards came a little heavy, and it gave Myla the chance to set up a really good one. And then, you know what, Emma came in clutch, and that's why they say they pay the skips the big bucks, because come in clutch and ended up forcing Team Plett to the one there.
I do enjoy the openness of, hey, do we chase around or throw a corner guard? And most teams have their own little personality in that style, part of their playbook, if you will. Myla was looking to corner freeze this one. Pretty typical defense of that shot, but ends up being just a bit heavy. Slides in behind it. Looks like a mixed doubles end all of a sudden. Now, if I'm Emma, I'm actually kind of happy with that yellow one. I don't even care if it's shot or not. It's now backing.
Yeah, it's helping you out here more than it's hurting you. So I'm with you there. If I'm Emma, I'm loving that right now. And it's far enough back that you can squeeze another red in here for shot and really put Team Plett in a lot of hurt.
Question is, how do you create the angles in your favor and against them? I almost think you can't quite. Could you get the nose on your own here? That would be a really nice shot.
I think we still are seeing enough curl that you should be able to get to nose, but the thing, like we said earlier with arena ice, and like I called it tattletale ice, is you got to throw the right weight and you got to throw a good release.
Well, that proves they could have got to nose, but they were, let's call it 6 feet light.
Yeah.
You could have even tapped your own there. That was almost a silly oops. It's not a bad thing to have a yellow in the house, another red in the house, but you could have tapped your own back a hair. Not sure top 12 was the right way to play that.
Yeah, and you've seen Myla looking at the 2 stones in the forfeit there, trying to figure out who she thinks is shot, and I believe she thinks her yellow in the back is shot. Hard for us to tell looking through the cameras. Of course, we're not down on the ice, but if that's the case, then it kind of turns it around, because that miss from the U of A Team Deschiffart there almost acts as another guard top 12.
That's exactly the words I'd use. An in-house guard. That's a mixed doubles term we have, in-house guards.
Yeah.
They happen all the time.
Yeah.
All right, well, she's looking to corner freeze that front red one to basically further embellish the guard nature of all these rocks. Once again, coming up a bit light. Not a bad shot there, all things considered. She is trying to steal, chopping off angles.
Yeah, the main Sorry to cut you off there, but the main goal there is that shot's more of a line shot than a weight shot. You see here now that creates that little bit of a stagger. So that's going to be a big problem for Team Deschiffart here, because it doesn't make it as easy to just peel off the guard. You have to worry about 2 versus the 1 now.
And let's be honest, even if Emma makes a great shot here, Myla's thinking, great, now how do I make sure you only get 1? Because Myla's going to have no concerns with forcing 1. So Emma's looking to sit shot, maybe create an angle. This is well short of the target weight. That's really going to make things difficult for them. That takes a good chunk of that draw path out of play.
Yeah, one benefit there is it's open to use later in the game, but like you said, it takes away that draw path, so it forces you to have to play a hit on something. And you know what? I don't know about these guys out here, but I love playing a draw over a hit. I've made a lot more draws than I have hits, if I'm being honest. So maybe I'm a little biased that way.
Well, statistically speaking, drawing is easier than hits and rolls and those sorts of things. So you speak from the world of wiseness. All right. Well, Myla's going to run her own guard back. Almost a bit surprised, considering they don't have hammer. There are a lot of reds in play, though, so there's some angles of understanding.
Yeah, I think Myla's looking at this here and saying, hey, I see a lot of reds here, and I do not want to get myself in trouble where I'm giving up a potential multiple and can't get in there to cut them down. So I think both teams, though, are happy opening it up here.
Yes, that's where I was at, is it's kind of helping both and hindering neither. Yeah. I kind of expected her to play that same corner freeze with the intern, but maybe they just don't trust the ice and weight at this point.
Yeah, we've seen Emma. Oh, sorry again.
No, I was just going to say, those draws down that left side is the scary thing right now.
Yeah, and we've seen Emma tapping that redstone, so she thinks it's her that's shot over the yellow in the back. So she's trying to find out, how can I get in here to sit 2? Because if she can score 2 here and go 2 up, she's happy.
So they're going back to the same side, going to the lefty's intern, which is a good thing to use at this point. Trying to wrap it around that red one they left a bit high. Let's see what we get for a time, because it kind of feels like suddenly it's a bit heavier than they think.
Yeah, a little wider.
13-7 on that, for interest's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be good weight, because I think that's the widest they've been out onto the sheet for a draw. Even coming up a little light anyways.
13-7, not enough to get to the 4 foot. Another 6 feet would have been ideal. But that is a, as you put it, very usable rock. Myla's still acting like the one with hammer and just trying to peel things out.
Yeah, she's looking at this end and saying, hey, I see a lot of reds in the front of the house, which can be a little scary, because usually whoever has their rocks in the front of the house above that T line is who's in control.
That would be Chloe on the early sweep. This is moving. The sheet's tattletelling on Alyssa there.
Yeah.
And that is not a good outcome. I would say we file that in the bucket of bad. You took your rock out of the front. You opened up your rock at the back with a short tap. Opportunity to sit 3 if Emma wants to take it.
Yeah, not to mention you roll over to stagger that corner.
Correct.
So I'm thinking Alyssa's going to want that one back.
The sheet told on her. All right, so Emma electing to leave the yellow one alone, which to your earlier statement makes me think she does feel she's shot. Looking to use those staggered corners and dial up the pressure.
Yeah, she's going to turn up the heat a little bit and say, you know what, I might not be sitting 1, 2, 3 right away, but I'm going to put a couple in some good spots here and you know, it's just that little little run back there that can change the end.
Unfortunately, they may have overcompensated on the weight there. Slides deep. They are 3 in the house. Call it 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. One of the two. Myla's still not loving the mess of red. Thinking we could double the reds across. I don't know if that's a win in my book because that rolls your shooter out.
Yeah, it rolls your shooter out, but I think at this point, Myla's going into damage control mode because she knows all it is a little short run there on that red, and you said a bunch. But I also like what she just did right there. Maybe try that little hit and flop and be like, you know what? Hey, I'll sit 2 and make you do the work, Emma.
That's where my brain was at, because if you roll a rock and a half, even 2 across center line, it takes the draw around the corners away. It takes the shot rock out, so on and so forth. Now, I suppose you do risk the jamming it on your own. You are kind of crossing over the face. I think the shot is to roll over towards all the busyness.
Yeah, and that brings that stagger back into play where although it was hurting Team Plett, now it can help them because if you can get a good roll here, Emma doesn't really have a run or anything to get to that Yellowstone.
Is losing the back yellow a concern if you're Myla?
I think you would prefer to keep it around, but if you touch it, it doesn't hurt you to lose it.
That's as long as you,
yeah, as long as you get that red far enough out.
Or do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Once again, seeing a miss on the under curl side, so both teams still getting caught there, and a little bit scary as it gives a chance for Emma to sit 3 now.
I almost feel like, and this is me putting words in their mouths, I almost feel like Alyssa didn't really buy into that, because if you're playing just the hit and roll and aren't concerned about the rocks in the back of the house, that was a lot of weight for a 2-foot roll.
Yeah, I think maybe, and like you said, we can't hear them, right? So we're putting words in the mouth, but I think you maybe get that rock, that back yellow rock in your head, like you said, and you throw that little bit extra just to make sure. But it's so hard when you throw that weight, especially with how straight hits have been running here.
Yep.
It's so hard to make a precise shot like that.
All right, well, now it's in Emma Deskiffart's team's hands to roll under the guards. Got the hit, got a squiggle, but I wouldn't call it a roll. Certainly a double to get out of some trouble. Or the hit and flop corner frozen.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to leave a chance for 2.
Yeah, Myla's still in damage control mode here. Just going to look at the double. If you hit and flop, you're still letting Team Deschiffart hit or sit 2 there. So just trying to get as many reds as you can out here. Try not to give up too big of an end.
Make for a long and uncomfortable 5th end break conversation. How did that get out of hand? But hey, the end isn't over. So far, there's 3 reds sitting in the house. Myla looking to eliminate at least 2.
Yeah,
Rock on the way.
Yeah, a little wobble in the slide there. I'm not sure if Myla's going to be too happy with that.
Well, we've got 1 red leaving. Oh, skins the back and rolls the wrong direction. Roll in or double. She was in a good place. That hit and roll opens. Bad news bears. Couple of throws there back to back where things are just overdone. Alyssa overthrowing, to your point, Myla having a speed wobble. Maybe that's trying to generate too much weight for what's effectively a fairly straightforward double. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, it goes to show even some of the best curlers, every once in a while you have that little bit of the whoop, and it happens to the best of us.
So where does Emma want to roll this one? You could roll away and leave the draw path to the back. You could roll in, but possibly set up a double.
Yeah, I'd like a little bit of the flop in. Use that staggered corner, and because where they're sitting now, it kind of leaves the double back again.
Yep. Yeah,
And
you really needed to move one way or the other. Now, the good news for them is that even if she makes this double, she's got to draw for 2. I don't know how confident they are in draw weight right now, but that's a problem for 20 seconds from now.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked a little bit of a roll here too, because you know what? Myla just played this double, so she's going to be pretty confident on the line. And she's going to know how the rock's going to run, so should see a better outcome here. Knock on wood. Better not leave a commentator's curse, but
another little wobble. A little bit of a joust. Sweeper's not doing a whole lot. They're going for the thin double, maybe? Ooh, threads the needle through the sideways port and actually leaves a wide open house for 3. That was an unforced error on top of 2 previous unforced errors. That's certainly going to make for an awkward 5th end break. But that said, it is only 5 ends under the belt, so they've got lots of time to work their way back.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you hate to give up a 3, but if you're going to do it, you want to have it in the earlier heads.
So this is Emma Deschiffart looking for 3. As Bethany Evans and Sarah Yarmuch on the sweep. They're down early. We do know it seems to be running a bit heavier than an end or 2 ago. Has the whole house to touch. Looking good. There's over the New Holland. There's the rings. And that's 3 on the board for Emma Deschiffart and friends. Going into 5th end break. We'll be right back.
Curling Alberta's 50/50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $50,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus and nurturing.
Yes! Curl in. Whoa. Oh boy. Ahead of us all,
Need extra space? We rocket storage. Try 4 weeks free at a location near you.
Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Welcome back to Sheet C here in Okotoks, Alberta, the women's qualifier. After a wild fifth end, the score is 6-3 for Emma Deschiffart over Myla Plett. So, Rhett, if you're Plett and just gave up a 3, what's your fifth end break kind of look like?
You know what? You're going to be talking a little bit about how can I change the momentum back to us. That was a big shift in momentum there. And you know what? Throughout the game, you've seen both teams been close, fighting back and forth, getting hard hitting back and forth. So you're going to be talking about, hey, what do we need to do to step up and come above Team Deschiffart here?
Well, there you go. We'll watch the 6th end intently to see what gear they shift into. We'll be right back.
This needs to be the fastest last-minute pregame snack run ever seen.
That's right. The fans of great taste are going wild.
Can he make it? Yes! He's done it! Original 16. You can celebrate every win.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the RME New Holland Alberta Season of Champions qualifier at the Alberta Provincial Champion. That's a lot of words to spit out. I'm going to double check that one. Anyways, Sentinel Storage bringing you this wonderful qualifier. Game number 4 over on Sheet C. Myla Plett versus Emma Deschiffart. Myla blinking first there in the 5th end and making a couple of mistakes. Emma capitalizing on it. Let's see what they come up with. It certainly doesn't hurt that you have a multi-time champion behind the bench to calm you down and give you some advice.
Yeah, no, it's a benefit. You see, behind both benches here, we have a lot of experience. Behind the Deschiffart bench, we have Allison Thiessen there, which her in her own right has had a lot of success and a lot of experience. And then, like you said, a multi-time champion behind Team Plett there with David Nedowin, and also having Blair Lenton with lots of experience. So both strong teams with strong coaches.
Lots of minds to tap into for sage advice. Well, we see Myla has elected for a corner guard. An obvious move to try to get at least a 2 here. I assume you would be happy with a 2?
Yeah, you would love a 2. You want to make sure you get multiple here. Like we talked about that the big, oh, it's an even end, you want to score. But the big goal here is you need to score multiple. You don't want to be forced to one. You have to get at least a 2, and if you get 3 or 4, hey, that's great. But at this level, you don't see a multi-score like that very often.
Correct. And, the old adage of take 2, give 1, that would make it 5-6. Then you give 1 is 7-5, and then you take 2, and it's 7-7. And, you're in the game, and you have a chance to win it.
Well, and here at the Alberta Summit of Champions, both men and women's side play 10 ends, so still lots of time for both teams to show up in either end. So it's not over till the last rock.
Till the last rock is thrown?
Yeah. I was going to say it's not over till the fat lady sings, but I don't know if that quite goes with curling.
Well, the cliche still exists. It just maybe doesn't land quite as well. So we'll stick with last rock thrown. I'm good with that. Yeah. And to a comment you made, this is a provincial qualifier, so they can go to nationals. So it is 10 end games, and it is timed games. So maybe when our good friend Connor in the background has a chance, we can take a peek at the clocks. So we've got corner guard, center rock, draw around the corner, and some red clutter. We are now far enough into the 5-rock rule or into the end that the 5-rock rule no longer applies, and Myla can play hits. So she's wisely going to use this as an opportunity to stack some more corner guards and get rid of some red.
Yeah, she's looking here and she's like, hey, I don't want to get into any trouble. So trying to open up that middle, and if you can roll to a corner, that's awesome.
Well, there's the hit, there's the roll, but it's still rolling. Not going to be the most useful rock, but we have seen those on occasion become powerful weapons with an in-off. So it's in play. Emma wisely is saying, no guard for you.
Yeah, she knows the best way for Team Plett to get back into here is to use their guards and score multiples. So she's going to say, you know what, I'm just going to take that chance away from you and really make you work for it here.
Does she ever look for this to roll back as a center guard or just get the heck rid of it?
You know what? You would love for it to roll as a center guard, but you wanna make sure that rock is getting out, and a little bit of the bonus catching that rock on the far side.
Sneaky double. Yeah. No in-offs for Myla. This is a lot of ice, so it seems as though the front end's not even sure what the call is. I'm not even sure what the call is. That was a lot of ice. I would have thought they'd throw the corner guard back up.
Yeah, a little bit of a conversation here, and you see Alyssa heading back down to the end to talk to Myla there. I'm kind of with you there, Gord. I don't know what the original call was with that much ice, unless it was to come around that top red and maybe corner freeze onto that red in the forefoot, but I don't. Now I think they're just going to try and hit this red forefoot, or...
No, they're going for the corner guard.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Greater minds have come together and said we need a guard.
Yeah. Which is a good call, because you know what? You can't score multiple without guards or without a little bit of help that way. So,
well, they are sitting second, so you can exchange these guards a few times trying to get a mistake, and if it doesn't work, then you can make a play on the red for your 2. But I do think it's worth at least an attempt or 2.
Yeah, big scrub with Alyssa Edwin and Ali Iskew here. That's another thing we've seen a lot this week, Gord, as I've been here since Wednesday, and I've seen a lot of those corner guards just come up on the undercurl too. So teams also struggling with that as well.
Yeah, maybe sometimes the sheets have so much curl outside in that the inside out doesn't travel quite the same. So Emma deciding to go after the one in the house by the looks of it. There is a little bit of jam risk.
Yeah, with that corner guard being so high, it's not really an issue for Team Deschiffart here, but like you said, there's that jab risk, and just going to miss it.
And spreads her rocks around. But did leave that guard alone. So, yeah, you got rid of a counting rock, but you did leave a rock to hide behind.
Benefit there is also you're leaving your rock open and usable. So, yeah, you give a chance for Alyssa to have a free draw in here, but you know what? It's still a little scary for Team Plett, as that's 3 reds to your 1 yellow and all in pretty decent spots.
Sure. I won't argue with you on that one. This looks to be a little on the warm side. Sliding through the 8, nibbling the 4 for a bit, and drifting to back 8. Second shot, but wide open again. Emma sticking true to her game and just getting rid of the counting rocks.
Yeah, she's happy to put a bunch of reds in there.
Earn your points or give me more. I don't think she's going to complain.
Big scrub here out of the hand.
On it early. The guard's not usually a concern when they're that high, but hey, you had to make sure you're by. And actually rolling opposite from what they had intended. Maybe the sheet told on their release there too. So that's a bit of an awkward spot for Myla. Going around her corner means leaving 2 reds in the 4-foot. They are slightly overlapped.
Yeah, and the tricky thing here is with that corner guard coming up on the undercurl, it kind of creates a problem. Yeah, it's your own color, but it creates a problem for Alyssa here because you can't come down there with the draw. You kind of have to play a weighted hit here. And you know what? The porch is there, but the thing with guards like that, when they're so high, it's always in the eye of the thrower. And as much as you do your training to focus on throwing your weight at the right line, it's everyone's human, so it always is there in the corner of your eye.
Well, they're looking for some curl here, which makes you think it didn't make the port. Another unforced error. Well, slightly forced. Let's call it that. Yeah, opportunity for Emma again.
Yeah, no, Emma's not making it easy for Team Plett here. Making those shots hard.
But there's a really good example of kind of the undertone of this whole game and conversation. Emma's team technically missed their hit and roll, but they missed the right way, rolled into the middle, and still made life hard for Myla. Myla's misses tend to almost hurt themselves more than anything. So, I'm not going to pile on too hard on that one, but it is a bit of a tipping aspect in this level of competition.
Yeah, it bodes to the fact that, you know what, I learned from one of my coaches once, and it's something I've taken with me wherever I'm curling. It's not always what you make, but it's what you leave. Mm-hmm. And I had a coach tell me that once, and it stuck with me the whole time.
It's a different way of saying something I quite often do, which is no matter what you do, make sure you're not leaving them the option to do whatever they want to.
Exactly.
There's different ways to phrase it, but yes, if you're going to miss, you're going to miss. But at least make it so that they still have to deal with you in some manner, not a freebie throw. Anyways, Emma came up, I would say, short there. You might say, hey, a center guard's a great thing there, but I would argue it's a bit short because she should be able to come around this and just tap that one back a hair, be shot with a lot of backing. I feel like she was trying to be top 12. What do you think there?
Yeah, really wanting to be in the house there. Because right now you're kind of giving Myla, like you said, that chance to sit buried. And it kind of opens the door, not a whole lot for Myla, but it opens it a little bit.
So Myla looking to sneak past that tight center guard, come just to the nose of the one in the forefoot, but all that hand waving and signaling is a terrible thing to the person in the house because that means it's heavy. We don't even have a piece at this point.
Yeah.
That, my dear friend, unfortunately goes in the bucket of bad shots because that didn't even give you a next shot. So, had that been top 8 short, you had something to work with. You do not have something to work with. And to your statement of it's about what you leave them, what you left them was the opportunity to really stick it to you.
Yeah, and like you said, you could have come up, like it's that pro side miss, you could have come up high and given yourself something to use later and like on your next shot here.
Now, in subtle defense of Myla, I can't actually remember the last draw she's thrown, and she saw several come up light, so an understandable mistake, but still one you can't make, unfortunately.
Yeah, especially playing at the level here we have at the Alberta Summit of Champions. It's you make a mistake and the other team is going to make you pay for it. So understandable, but one she's definitely going to want back. And Emma right there making about a perfect freeze.
And Myla's going to be paying for that in American currency. Woo-wee! What a great shot. Well, you have very few options. And I don't even know which one gives you scoring. In off to the back red and stick it is about all I see for how yellow scores.
Yeah, and the tough thing here is you're 3 down playing 6, so you need to score here. You're starting to run. It's halfway through the game, so you do have time, but you're starting to run out of your time here. So you're going to see they're going to have the conversation. Do you want to play that in off? Do you want to play the draw and cut them down to 1 or 2?
Can you get enough of the pin to take one?
I don't believe you're ever scoring.
And if you nudge the red to get more of the pin, you probably roll off. So I don't think there's a draw for a point.
No, I think at this point you're just trying to hold them to your 1.
All right, I got my stopwatch out. I'm really curious. So we saw 13.5 earlier come up 8 foot, but then we saw a bunch of draws sailing through. So I kind of feel like it was a bit of a misnomer, those 13. So I'm gonna go with 14.25. That's my guess if I'm the sweeper.
Yeah, I like that 14.25, 14.5. We've seen that 13.7 come up light, but that was also on a wider path in the sheet that they wouldn't have used in their pregame practice.
Yep.
This is within that 8 foot area, so should be decent speed here, but like we said, we haven't seen a lot of draws, so a little bit of a guessing game for Myla.
Well, the sweepers are on this one. They aren't waving their hands, so that's improvement. Still not doing a lot with it.
Yeah, you've seen Allie go down for a heavy clean, so she's liking the weight. And just dusting it in.
What does 14-2 get them? It gets them 3rd shot. That's a steal of 2 for red. Valiant effort. That is an 8-3 lead for Deschiffart after 6. We'll be right back.
Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Need extra space? We rocket storage. Try 4 weeks free at a location near you.
Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Welcome back, everybody. That's two rather exciting ends in a row. Didn't turn out very well for Myla and friends, but for us it was certainly exciting to watch and call. We're strolling our way on here into the seventh end. This is the, I gotta make sure I say this right. I've stumbled over it 3 times now. The RME New Holland Alberta Summit of Champions, brought to you by Sentinel Storage.
You know, it's a long one to say. It's a long one to say. I give you credit. That's why I'm letting you bring us into the ends, because I know I'd screwed up a couple times.
Yeah. The best thing is I'm willing to say, ooh, I screwed that up. But I didn't screw that one up. All right. Here we are. This is qualifying match number 4. Again, the winner of this goes to the 3-4 match of the Page playoff, taking on the winner of the other ladies match going on right now. So if you're curious, feel free to watch the line scores or stick your nose in over there. Plenty of exciting things going on. Myla's got a really deep hole. What does getting out of that even remotely look like?
It's a lot of climbing uphill. You're going to see lots of ends here with double corners, lots of rocks in play, because you're going to have to go pedal to the metal to score as much as you can. And the scary thing about that is, because you're going pedal to the metal, your risk is high. Like your reward is high, but like I said, your risk is high. So yeah, you're going hard to score a bunch, but it means all it takes is a couple shots for Emma Deschiffart and her team to just extend that lead. So really tough situation for Team Plett here to climb back.
One of the things I like to say is, when you're in that big of a hole, your team needs to shoot 90+%, whereas the opponent really only needs to throw about a 70 and they can counter it. So everything has to go in your favor. You need to make everything. You need them to at least give you a few misses, and then you can milk your trying for a 3 out of it. Quick little update. So Slachinski and Lind, that's the other qualifying ladies match. It's a 4-2 lead for Slachinski. They're after 6. On the men's side, we got Johnston Tau playing Jacob Libis. Tau has a 2-1 lead over Libis after 6. And Molding is actually trailing Van Amsterdam in the final qualifier on the men's side, 4-2. So again, lots of exciting things going on. And then the action will continue into the Page playoff later.
And like you said, Gord, for everyone listening, if anyone's interested in any of those other games, they're all streamed here on Curling Zone. And I believe the Molding and Van Am game also has some commentators over there. So as much as I know people are loving listening to our voices, you know what? You can go check out over there. I believe it's James Balance and Dan over there.
Yep.
Yeah. So 2 very smart curlers. So lots of knowledge over there. But you know what? I think we're doing pretty well over here.
Well, I'm certainly having fun today. So thank you for joining me. So 2 corner guards, that's a given. This one is going to end up being another corner guard. Not how you would typically script that one. That I suspect was supposed to be in the house, because Emma is more than welcome to smash things now. So this should be a fireball to take out a few.
Yeah, that's a big miss on Team Plett. Needing rocks in the house right now, or even, you know what, coming up a little short's not bad. You give yourself some separation on some corners, but coming up that light and staggering them makes this double peel almost a little bit easier. And because it's that rock higher, you might even see a roll to the other corner.
There's one. Other yellow strolling along. That'll be 2 yellows in the corner. Red does end up laying over there as a corner guard, but you definitely clean things up, and you're sitting 2.
Yeah, you're both happy and not with that one, because it leaves a staggered corner, but you know what? You got rid of the other corners, and when you're up by 5 points, there's still lots of room for you to sit and blast and be happy.
Exactly. There's that. You can throw 3 out of 4s and be just happy with it. Anyways, looking to put a corner on the other side.
Yeah, and you see Alyssa and Ali on this right out of Chloe's hand, so might be struggling with the weight.
And an extra friend. Ooh, that kind of confused everybody, and they all stopped sweeping. That can't be good. Get it over. Get it over. Come on, come on, come on. Woo.
Yeah, so a little bit of a, you know what, this is a young team, but a veteran move there. So Myla, being in the house, knows, hey, my broomhead's going to be a little bit fresher than these two that have been sweeping all game. So she runs out to jump out and help, and any extra advantage to get that over the line, they're going to take.
They may just want to work on their baton handoff there. They almost dropped that one on the track.
And yeah, and that's the hard thing with doing something like that is you never want to lift your brooms because you need all the help that rock can get to get it over the line. But
here's another fireball. Ooh, 1, 2 out of the way, red and a yellow, and the corner is farther over, so that's definitely an improvement. Now, Myla's going to keep her focus on the other side of the sheet. She has a long corner guard. Throw in another corner guard. Get the double corner going.
Yeah, and I like what she's doing here. She's asking Alyssa to throw this. It's used as a corner guard, but she's asking her to throw it in that top 12 area. So not only will it act like another guard for Team Plett, but it also is in the rings for a potential counter.
They're calling it strong out of her hand, so this is an audible. They're sweeping for backing. All right, there you go.
Yes.
That was definitely plan D, but hey, it still worked. One of my favorite signs ever. It's actually up in Sundry. It says, don't worry if plan A doesn't work. There's 25 more letters in the alphabet. All right, looking to take that one out of the house.
Yeah, Abby's going to waste no time here. Just try and make contact here and get rid of the yellow.
Some people might say, well, why didn't you peel the guard? And the answer is because it's barely a guard and you're up 5.
Yeah, with the guards being as high as they are, and the amount of curl we have here in Okotoks, which good shout out to the ice makers. They've done an amazing job all week. That guard isn't really doing much because all it takes is a little hack weight shot. You get around it easy.
So this one she called top just in front of the tee line. Feels a bit like she's saying, okay, well, maybe we can goad them into ripping the corner guard.
And that's the thing is, you know what? She knows that they're gonna have to get maybe a missed call or a missed shot out of Team Deschiffart here. So Myla's like, you know what? I'll throw one in a good spot and try to say, hey, why don't you try and chase this? And you might get a miss out of it.
It was also not light. It's going to stop and play. Didn't need any help, though.
Yeah.
At any point, do you start freezing those other reds?
I think that's the conversation they're having right now, is saying, what do we want to do? Because although it doesn't look pretty for Myla right now, more rocks in play helps her. So the thing is yeah, they're going to chase this yellow here with a little bit, like I said, that hack weight shot. But they have to be careful because where you leave this red could potentially help Team Plett more than it's helping you if you end up rolling to, say, behind T-line.
I'm not going to lie to you. My first feeling was rip the guard. You rip the guard, and then no matter what Myla does, that yellow's wide open. And the worst you're looking at giving up is 2.
Exactly. And see, that's where in that conversation between Abby and Emma, they might have said, hey, let's play this tight to the guard. If you get the chase, that's great. But if you do end up racking on the guard, you know what? That's a positive outcome too.
Woo! And they got neither. Ooh! That is definitely a miss that Myla was looking for.
Yeah. And that's where it's a struggle because you're kind of getting caught in between two things there. And that's where you have to, as a skip and as a third, you have to talk and say, hey, if I'm not going to make this shot, what is the better shot or what is the better miss?
Yes. As the person in the house, you had to really understand the line. And as soon as there was risk you didn't have good line, you had to take it into the guard.
Yeah.
And that's the danger, because a lot of times people think, oh, I think I'll get it by. We'll just sweep it really hard. We should be able to. But as soon as you have an I think and a should in there, you need to shift gears and take the one you know you can do. So anyways, bringing the freeze into play. Myla could have went around the guard again. She could freeze the back one. She could freeze the one on the center line. There's definitely choices now. To your point, there's rocks in play. And I'm going to assume this is a timeout because there's a complimentary shirt walking down the sidelines.
Yeah, there we see Coach David Netowin coming down to chat with his team.
My gut feeling was throw another one under the corner guard.
That was
a little Colleen Jones tree.
Yeah, and that was probably my first shot. And if you're throwing that, where do you think you like that? Because I personally, if I'm throwing another one under the corner, I might be tempted to throw it closer to like that top 12 to kind of use it as another corner while still being in the rings as a counter.
I was torn between just barely on or bump your own back a foot. Because if you bumped yours a little bit, you'd be sitting second and third fully under the guard. So then if Emma rips the guard, you have a building chance at 3. If you come up biting top 12, you still have 2 reds to deal with in a not very pleasant double angle. So my thought was to my own, even just bump it a bit.
Yeah, and I see where you're coming from there. I think no matter what, though, Myla's going to have to make a pistol to deal with the reds here.
Correct. So that's why I was thinking you could get 2 yellows to outcount the back red, and then you'd only have 1 to deal with. Now, that all said and done, Dave and friends had a pointy, flappy conversation, and they put the broom on the rock, which kind of feels like hit and roll under the guard.
I don't know if they're going to roll under anything because you want to try and stay above T-line as much as you can. I think they basically said, hey, let's take our medicine, make sure we have 2 for sure.
Or because they're drawing and just have to have the broom on the rock.
Yeah, maybe. Again, we can't hear anything, right? So it's we're putting words in the mouth, but I think you're right there. It looks like a draw weight.
Well, it's not heavy. They're going as far as they can with it.
Yeah, wanting to grab paint. Has to grab
paint. Oof. Well, the camera says it's out, which means it probably is just in due to the angle. So let's say they're sitting second and fourth. If I'm red, I don't want to do anything with those other 2 because that's a hard double. So I'm kind of thinking get another one in to keep it to a tough 2. I don't know. Good try, Connor, but I really don't know if that's in or not.
So I believe what Emma did here is she's tapping. She's looking at coming down to that yellow top just above the T-line there, just to freeze to the corner of it, which I really like because, yeah, it's one, it's your rock is buried, and 2, you're kind of saying, okay, skipper, time to make something for a bunch.
Well, and the nice thing is even if you're a hair short, as long as you're out counting the maybe biter, you're in a good spot.
Exactly.
And she's had brilliant draw weight.
Yeah, and the scary thing for Team Plett here is to stay alive, be in the 7th end, to stay alive, you pretty much need to score 2 or more. Scoring 1 here and being forced is not ideal. And this one looking a little warm coming into the rings.
Bit of a cruise missile. Well, it does leave them sitting 2. Makeable double for yellow to get 2.
Yeah, and right there, the unfortunate...
Is there a triple for 3?
I believe it's there. You just have to hit the underside of that second red.
Yep.
And you're going to have to throw it quite hard to get rid of both reds there, but...
So you got to hit the high red, go low on the second red so that your rock shoots basically straight down into the third red, and then we can all go, holy bonanza, measure time.
Yeah. And the scary thing is here for Myla is you have to make sure you hit enough of that second red to guarantee your 2 points here. You'd love to get all 3 reds moving, but you have to guarantee 2.
Yep. Is there any way to lose your shooter? I don't think so. Thin, it hits the bottom one, whatever. I don't think you're fear of your shooter rolling out.
Yeah, you would have to throw it and hit it quite thick to roll over the top, but even then, I think you're always catching that one red.
Here's a fireball.
Myla Plett, her chance for a big. That's my English.
1, 2, oh, they stuff it. They stuff the double. They do get 2, but miss the chance at a measure for 3. Kudos for a great double. That makes the score 8-5 after 7. We'll be right back.
Curling Alberta's 50/50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $50,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Need extra space? We rocket storage. Try 4 weeks free at a location near you.
Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the RME New Holland Alberta Summit of Champions, presented by, in this case, Sentinel Storage, the men's side, presented by Best Western. Thanks to all the sponsors. There's a beautiful shot of the clocks. We have Deschiffart with 15 minutes left and Plett with 11. That is not a huge amount to work with when you got 3 ends still to go. Generally speaking, you want 3.5 to 4 minutes per end. 3 times 4 is 12. So it's playable. And they have a timeout. Yeah. Mr. Rhett, you just took 2, but you're still down 3. What are you doing in this crazy 8 then?
You got to steal. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to steal. Being 3 down, if Emma scores anything more this late in the game, I don't think it's a great opportunity. So you have to try and pedal to the metal for a steal here.
Steal, 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 steal for the win. That sounds horrible, but doable.
Yes.
I've done it before. It's just not easy.
Yeah. And a lot of people might think, like we talked about earlier, the classic, you know what, you give up one, take two, give up one, take two, but it's late enough in the game that taking two isn't really an option. And a big oops there, giving Team Plett a freebie, just a burnt stone.
That's yeah. Let's see if we can pick up what went wrong.
Yeah, I think Abby just on one of her push strokes here might have just had a little bit of a slip, or her broom just might have caught right
there. You
there.
go. Flipped it right underneath. The broom had stuck on a sticky spot, and we've all had that happen as well. Really disheartening feeling when you're sweeping and your broom just stops moving.
Yeah, it's a scary feeling too, because you almost wipe out every time you do it. I've done it before where you
and the rebuttal is always, well, don't sweep so close to the rock, but you're supposed to sweep that close to the rock.
And that's this thing is, these sweepers are so effective at this level that you're trying to get as close as you can to that rock and get as much pressure on that broom as you can.
Well, that was a bit of a missed opportunity on the return. That yellow is not stealing a whole lot yet, but it's in a good spot. Yeah. And Emma's going to kiss some guards goodbye. Looking to get at least one yellow moving, preferably two. There's one, there's two, there's three moving. Only got one out of play. Left yours half open, half buried. That isn't a whole lot better.
Not a whole lot better. Pretty much kind of the same situation as if he didn't throw that rock. Just move the guards around a little bit.
Now the one red's kind of off the center line, but really high, so borderline useless. Myla looking to keep the junk out front. Stealing two would be brilliant. Has to steal one, so junk is her friend. Working it as far as they can. Getting really close to that hog line.
And an uncharacteristic miss by Chloe Feduk right there.
Wowza. Polite curling at its finest. That is not a good situation. So, Emma gets to pick another yellow out. This will be just a single yellow leaving. The red guard is fairly high in red. Speed wobble on that one. Picked up early. And doink, there goes the yellow. Myla back to the guard game. Has to protect that yellow one.
Yeah, right now you're going to see Myla Plett and her team just guard until they have to go in.
Yeah, part of me almost wants to undercurl this so that you can see a piece of your yellow on the cross side. Over-curling this would not be great. But center guard. We're after a center guard.
And you see Alyssa, after seeing Chloe's come up short, maybe giving it a little bit of an overcorrect, and this one's just sailing.
It's got enough brakes to call it a guard. I'd say that's tighter than they were comfortable with. That is a very makeable run double. Very little risk of hitting your own red with this, short of crisscrossing, but then the yellow still leaves.
Yeah, and you know Abby's going to be throwing enough weight here that even if you do catch your red, it shouldn't be an issue.
Looking for the double peel. Quick on the sweep. There's one, two, yellows in the corner. Roll it out of the way. Problems galore for Team Plett.
And we're a good shot of a replay. Great shot here for Abby DeZorbo.
Nice pickup by the sweepers, too, to make sure it holds the line.
Yeah.
Had a fairly big margin of error on that yellow, anything from a third to a piece, but hey, well done by the team. Looking for yet another guard.
Yeah, and there might be a couple people out there saying, hey, there's a red in the rings. What are you doing guarding that? And Myla knows they have to have something on the center line. You could have hit and roll and used those red as a guard, but that honestly just gives Team Deschiffart a draw to the button to score another one. So
you could have maybe tried the freeze, but it has to be like a perfect nose freeze.
Yeah.
Anything off of nose and kablooey, everything's gone.
Yeah.
I agree. Center guard was important.
Yeah. And Abby with the chance here to put a lot of pressure onto Team Plett if she could make this freeze. But once again, looks like a little hot on the weight.
No, that is better than accidentally throwing another guard.
Yeah, that's, if anything, your miss there is to make sure you're in the rings. The only scary part about that is now being in the back of the house is you act like a catcher. So like we said earlier with Team Plett, when they had some rocks in the back of the house, it creates a little bit more favorable, I'll say, for the other team instead of your own. It might be your color, but it's not helping you.
So here's an interesting scenario. Most people were probably thinking, hey, just throw that draw, tap the red, one rock back, freeze it, sort of a thing. Myla's electing to go through the port, and I'm assuming kind of hit and stick that red one with, hack board somewhere in there?
Yeah, and that might just come down to the fact that we've seen both teams struggle with that kind of draw weight on the on that side of the sheet. So Myla might just say, hey, I'm confident in this spot of the ice. I'm confident throwing this light takeout weight. So you're basically throwing the shot that you know you're going to make here.
They're close. Through the port. Bye-bye, red. Caught on your own red. So exactly as they called it. Little flop made life hard for Emma. It theoretically is accessible.
Yeah, theoretically it's accessible, but I think with that little bit of a roll that Myla got there, you never keep your shooter, but I'm not sure if Emma's worried about that here. Because like I said, Team Plett has to steal here, and Emma's saying, hey, you know what? I'm okay giving you one and being up.
So I'm thinking basically the exact same shot Myla threw. You don't really care what happens to your shooter because it's clearly going to roll towards the boards. It'd be wonderful if you managed to bite the outer side of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that little bit of a roll over, it forces Emma to have to throw a bigger weight to navigate this port, which, like we said earlier in the broadcast, means you almost make her miss it out of the hand.
Oh! I'm actually a bit surprised she went with that turn. The upside is that yellow is now very accessible. So Myla has to decide guard or protect the obvious steal of one, or come into the house and gamble a bit that they can get out of jail, but sit two.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking for Myla the little bit of the gamble here, because if you can come down and sit top four, you take away the draw for Emma there, so you're forcing her to hit. And if you just sit top button, top four, I don't think she can hit for shot, so you're almost guaranteeing your steal. The other side of that is if you don't make it perfect, you might leave something for Emma to bring her back red into play. So no matter what, a tough shot for Team Plett here. And that's why you see them having this conversation, talking about their best opportunity, their best outcome. And you'll probably see when Myla gets down on the other side of the sheet, she's going to have a good conversation with her sweepers on this path and the speed and what they think it's going to do, because she wants the best opportunity she can to make this as good as she can.
Kind of right dead beside it-ish. Because
Yeah,
then if you hit that one, the other yellow counts.
Yes.
You can't tap it, because then the other yellow counts.
Yeah, you want to be dead beside it. You have a little bit of wiggle room, a couple inches up or a couple inches down, but pretty much level. If you were looking across the sheet, you want it pretty much level with that other yellow. And we see both Chloe and Allie down.
They need to get this going. It's really close.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to
Looks
watch
a hair light. They might be switching gears to just protect that one.
Yeah.
So they end up second. They are second, so they're sitting 2. Wasn't the call, but they did create a stagger protecting that back one, which means so Emma has 2 choices, right? How can either hit through that hole and get rid of something yellow, or I know how to throw this draw and I'm going to win the game here.
Exactly. So Emma's looking at this, and again, like with Myla shot there, you're going to say, hey, what am I the most confident in making? And like we have stated, Emma's draw weight has been on point this game, so I like seeing her play this draw. The only thing she's going to have to watch out for is we've seen the sweepers of Myla's rock there. Chloe and Allie really like the weight, and then the weight just came off. So the slide path might be wearing down just a hair and might come into play on this draw.
Well, they're close. A little on, a little off, a little on. Now they're pushing it. Maybe they learned from Plett's draw.
Yeah, seeing Myla's come down, they're going to have a good idea of what this rock is going to do.
14-23. It's got to be close. Can she get the button? Can she get the button? Look at that draw for 1. That is a point for red and a 9-5 lead. Holy bananas. That was the shot of the game outside of the previous shot of the game, which was also a killer draw.
Yeah, Emma Deschiffart on point. You see the replay here, on point with her draw weight and showing why she deserves to be in this situation and taking control of this game.
Good judge by the sweepers. Walks it to the tee line and gets a little sneaky tweak in, and brilliance. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, just a well-managed shot from the whole team.
So that's 9-5 for Deschiffart. We'll be right back.
This needs to be the fastest last-minute pregame snack run ever seen.
That's right. The fans of great taste are going wild.
Can he make it? Yes! He's done it! Original 16. You can celebrate every win.
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Need extra space? We rocket storage. Try 4 weeks free at a location near you.
Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you all had the luxury of watching that draw. That's the makings of something from TSN. Brilliant draw for 1 by Emma Deschiffart. to get out of what was looking like a real big mess. That said, we are in the ninth end here. Plett's got lives. It's only 4 points. 4 points is makeable. Scramble, scramble, claw, because you go home no matter what, right? So, how, when you're looking at a team that sharp, do you create a 3 or a 4?
Honestly, this is when you get together as a team and you say, hey, we got to buckle up and we got to put our best efforts out. You know that Team Deschiffart isn't going to give you a chance if they can help it. So you're going to be talking as a team here and say, you know what, pedal to the metal. You have to score a multiple here. And you got to stay alive. But it's going to be an uphill battle with how Team Edmonton Deschiffart is playing. I haven't seen much that they're not giving Team Plett very many opportunities.
Since about the fourth end, their misses have been fairly safe. Let's call the word safe. Anyways, so fairly standard setup. We've got 2 corner guards by Team Plett. We've got 2 reds in the 4-foot, which are distractors at this point in time. Emma looking to put a 3rd one in front of it. Bring the play into the house. That's the whole point of putting all those rocks down the center like that, right?
Yeah, Emma's basically saying, I know you need to set up some stuff behind your corners, so I'm gonna let you, but I'm gonna make it as hard as I can for you to bring those rocks into play.
Wow, this is tootling along. I'll give you a quick update on other sheets. So the other ladies qualifier, Slachinski versus Lind. Slachinski has a 5-2 lead after 7. On the men's side, Libas has taken a small 3-2 lead over Johnston Tau after 7. And Darren has managed to fight his way back, and Molding and Van Amsterdam are tied at 4 after 8. Again, all of this is live on Curling Zone through the Curling Stadium system. And yes, our colleagues James and Dan are commenting the Molding Van Amsterdam game. So, plenty of exciting action here on Curl Stadium.
Yeah, and I've been saying it all week to anyone that's in the Okotoks area. I can't stress enough how much you should come down and check out the action live. We have a patch here with stuff going on every day. We have a bar out on the ice if you want to watch some curling and have a little bit of a beverage. And honestly, I have not seen a draw that has had a game that isn't going to be exciting. So if anyone is in the Okotoks area, I highly recommend you come down and check us out. Lots of action happening, lots of fun stuff to do. It's a good time all around.
I'll be there tomorrow morning, so maybe our paths will cross. All right, so Myla with a bit of an interesting counter. She throws her rock into the top of the pile. Emma, I'm going to boldly assume she didn't intend for that to stay as a center guard.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they wanted that to just be a straight deal and might have just a little bit of a miss there. But once again, you're 4 up. You have rocks all in the 4-foot there, so you're not stressing just yet.
In a normal end, if you said, I'm going to give you a center guard and 3 rocks in the 4-foot, you'd be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, normally you would love that. But right now, Emma knows that rocks in play help Team Plett.
Yeah.
And that's why you see Chloe Fediak right here. She's just going to play a nice soft weight hit and roll. And what that does is it's not going to remove any red rocks. It's going to bump them to the back, and they're going to be used as catchers.
I wouldn't call those brilliant angles.
No, not ideal for either team. A little bit benefiting Team Plett is there's not a way to remove both yellows in one shot.
I'm picturing like a third on the center line side of that high yellow and actually get rid of a yellow and 2 reds.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you can get rid of a yellow, and like you said, I believe 2 reds do go. which I don't think is a bad idea. You see Abby coming down to talk to Emma here, just trying to decide what's our best outcome.
I'm not going to call those red ones your friends right now, because now they're catching that yellow one left and right. Unless they're just going to rattle, you could pull a mixed doubles move here and just push things around to try to get better angles.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you could come down with, say, a heavy draw, get close to the nose of that bottom yellow, both reds then kick out towards the 8-foot. That wouldn't be bad.
No, and it would keep one of your reds in that, what we call the key. And what I mean by the key is between the 4-foots and above the tee line. And us as curlers like to have rocks in the key because it gives you control of the end.
Looks like they're electing to just come around and corner freeze the yellow one.
Yeah, basically saying, you know what, just corner freeze this, and then, hey, we have you at all angles. So kind of putting the ball back into Team Plett's court if they can make this one.
Never hurts to have a rock right in front of the opponent when you're thinking angles and taps and rearranging.
So now this is a little bit scary here, being a little bit heavy, as it might rearrange those good angles.
Move that red. That's not bad. That opened up the yellow path. Not ideal, certainly heavy, but gives you a port to put yellow through.
You see Myla looking right now. She's trying to think, what is the best way I can arrange these rocks to keep my multiple alive?
And if everything goes to her plan, we're going to have 3 or 4 yellows on or below the tee line, reds, and 3 yellows high in front of the tee line.
So just wanting to hit this this rock on the low side, and like you said, bring those reds a little behind the tee line or towards the outskirts of the rings. See, Sweeper's just cleaning it, liking it, and Chloe's going to go here for a scrub. Might just be hanging out. Oops, sorry.
For a bit of roll. No, just oof. Well, you have 4 reds under 3 yellows. Not a bad problem. I question if you can't get to that nose of that lowest yellow now.
I think you can. I don't think you can get to the nose and remove the yellow completely, but I think you can still get to the nose and tap it back. But even Emma's just looking here and say, hey, let's freeze onto it. And then what does Plett do?
I kind of like the other turn here. Come through that funnel. Everything directs towards that yellow one. Not saying this is a bad choice of turn, but I kind of like the other turn. Because being on the center line side of that yellow is a very good place to be.
Yeah, the other turn is definitely there, but I think it comes down to kind of what we talked about a couple breaks ago, where teams are going to go to the side they're confident in, right? Like Abby just threw this side, and she's showing us right here why, you know what, we're not even on the ice, so what are we doing?
You guys say whatever you want to. I'm doing what I want to now. I would have just loved that to been, call it an inch more curl.
Yes.
Because as it is there, you can actually get it spinning out of the house. If it was an inch farther over, its inclination is to spin into that other stuff. But still a brilliant throw. So, yellow, I think, is sitting second. Hard to tell. Red's definitely shot, possibly sitting 2. Myla looking to basically do yellow, red to get rid of some of the mess. She does have hammer. Let's not forget that. It may look like she's trying to steal, but Myla has hammer. So we need to get a little bit of red out of the 4-foot. Only 3 rocks left. You can't leave them there forever.
Big scrub out of the hand of Alyssa Edwin might just be a little bit tighter than they would have liked.
Don't want to cross the nose. Very nice. That was pretty much as they scripted it. That leaves yellow sitting 1 for sure. Possibly sitting 2.
Yeah, starting to be a little bit of a worried situation for Team Deschiffart here, as the yellows are sitting in really good spots here.
I don't think you can get any of the yellows out right now.
No.
Looking to plug it up, I'm assuming, to protect what you have and go into the last end hammering up.
I believe so, because right now Myla has a chance to, with a little bit of weight, hit those yellows and kind of do that yellow onto the back reds.
You can survive a 2 or a 3. You certainly don't want to give up more than that. Looking for a guard right in the hole. Line is more important than depth. Trying to walk it over. Hard on the push.
Yeah, Sarah Yarbich here just trying to get it over as much as she can. And I believe that's a really good spot for Team Deschiffart.
I would say that was far enough. Might be where, well, if you did go through that port, assuming the port was there, yellow would cross yellow into the yellow. I'm not sure that's saving a lot. Myla doesn't think anything of that half of the sheet anymore.
Yeah, so this is where we talked about you want that 3.5 minutes of an end in case you have conversations like this. I don't know what time Plett's at right now, but you're going to see them have a big conversation here because this is an important shot.
And they have used their timeout. So they've gone back to this side thinking, you know what, that yellow into the mess is still the right outcome. Just got to do it a little bit harder with a red rock first. So red into yellow. And the question is, are they trying to cross it into the outside red to spin in or clip their own yellow almost like a double? That's probably what they're actually after.
Yeah, ideally, I think you want to clip your own yellow first. But if you don't make it perfect and you do catch the red, it's not a bad outcome either.
No.
Just a really precise hit here for Myla to run this back.
Plenty of weight. On to the early scrub. Got to keep the line here.
Big scrub from Aliescu.
I think we're over curling. We've got like a quarter.
So
that took away a little bit of the other side too.
Yeah, not what they're looking for, but I'm going to say but because that does leave that yellow just thrown by Myla as a potential something to run back later. So I think we're going to see once again a guard from Emma, but she's going to want to overlap a little bit with that yellow guard just thrown, or that yellow rock just thrown.
Yeah, that's where my head was at. Corner freeze that front yellow one. No, not necessarily freeze, but cover the edge of it so that the angles are all ugly.
Scary thing is...
What's the objective here? The objective here is to take away the roughly nose hit on that yellow in the 12-foot.
Yes, try to make Myla's job as hard as you can. You want to place this rock where that, like you said, you just don't have that straight nose hit. Myla's always going to have something on that outside yellow, but that's a very difficult shot.
Sweepers like it. You could tuck under the yellow. You could sit in front of the yellow. You just want to take that raise away. Yeah. Looks like they're switching to just tuck a little underneath. Ooh, or just... all right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I think I would have swept the heck out of that and gone underneath of the yellow.
Yeah, and that's the kind of being caught in between there. Probably hoping that that rock would have finished up just a little bit more, because with bouncing off, now it lets Myla just basically play that same shot a little bit further over.
It's one of the things I spend a lot of time on the sweepers is call what you think the weight is, not what you hope the weight is.
Yeah.
Because if you, as the person in the house, had any inkling that that was going to bounce off that yellow one, you'd have been sweeping it all day.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have been trying to get it to curl up a little bit, so even with a bounce, it would still overlap a hair.
Yeah, sneak past it, bounce it, anything other than the kiss of death.
Yeah.
All right, well, Myla's second attempt at the run back double raise for 3.
Once again, Allie hard on the rock. 1.
And, oh, it sneaks through, bounces back up. That's 3 in the bank for yellow. Woo-wee.
But what a shot from Myla Plett, just hitting it perfect and gonna sit the 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure that's another shot or moment of the game contender right there for Myla.
We definitely have one for each team. Absolutely, like you called it. They could clip their own or just bounce in off the red. 3 in the bank, 9-8 score. We are coming back for the exciting 10th.
Curling Alberta's 50/50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $50,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Need extra space? We rocket storage. Try 4 weeks free at a location near you.
Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Welcome back, curling fans, to the 10th end, qualifying match #4 in the Alberta Ladies Provincial Qualifier. All you pessimists out there who are thinking, hey, after giving up 1 and 8, why didn't Plett's team shake? You just got shown why. A little bit of a bumpy road for Team Deschiffart in the 9th end, and it was paid for in full with interest, and it's a 9-8 game. Still an uphill battle for Team Plett, but manageable. Where do you think they go now, Rhett?
Well, you're gonna see Team Plett throw those double centers because they have to steal at least 1, if not 2 here. So, gonna try, and you see here those double centers. Would have liked a little more separation there because that brings that double peel into play. But you know, you're also gonna see Team Deschiffart try and keep them from stealing as much as they can, and a good shot of the clocks there. Gonna have to play a little bit of a rush 10 here for Team Plett. Only just under 3 minutes there.
That seems like plenty of time, but when you have a tough decision to make, it goes away quickly. Interestingly enough, Emma electing to draw around the center guard with both of her shots. The first one, I would say, okay, good. Cut it all off with a top 8 biter. That one I would call a disaster.
Yeah, that is a very unfortunate miss there for Team Deschiffart because it is a catcher. It's something they can draw down to. It's something that could be hurtful at the end of the game. And that's where we keep talking about, and I keep sounding like the broken record, the pro side miss is you have to be light, if anything, there.
You don't want to be a guard, but you sure don't want to be under the tee line.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking another top 8 cut both sides off would have been a cute little shot.
And that's the thing. If you can go either side, you kind of sit choking off those center guards and really put Team Myla Plett in a world of hurt.
So this is not brilliant for Emma. Yellow is shot. Textbook says start peeling guards, but there's 2 of them. They're shot. Do you ignore the guards?
Honestly, I think you're peeling no matter what here because those guards are the only thing giving Team Plett the chance to stay alive.
Fair. I also would peel them, but sometimes you just go, this is a mess, let's own the 4-foot. Yeah. Anyways, peeling guards, at least 1 guard. It's a bit out there. We got 1, we clipped the second.
And that is an outstanding shot from Team Deschiffart there.
Absolutely brilliant. We'll call it double peel.
Yeah.
So this is absolutely clean throw by Bethany. Sweepers just got to walk along for the ride for the most part. And that little tickle, that makes all the difference.
Yeah,
what's Myla's plan now, bud?
Well, you're guarding for your life. That's all you can do now. You are hoping for a miss from Team Deschiffart here, which, unfortunate to say, does not happen a lot at this level of play.
I think they got all the misses in the 9th end.
Yeah, both teams kind of got them all out.
So, this is still calmly peeling guards. It's easy to get worked up. It's easy to be nervous. Take a breath. Just peel a guard.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm going to make a mention of how important that double peel was for Team Deschiffart. Like, that is another thing I would say is a moment of the game contender. And some people might be listening to me and say, why is that? But to get both of those guards out of the center, that takes away Team Plett's whole end. So another potential moment of the game there for Miss Evans.
I have a really hard time arguing with you because that draw for 1 and 8 seemed like the nail in the coffin.
Yes.
But then they went and pulled the nails out themselves and gave the whole coffin back to Fire. So that kind of deflated that one. That freeze peel for 2 was also a brilliant one. I'm kind of leaning that way. But that double peel, that's like taking the tracks right under from Myla's train.
Yeah, it's one of those things that some people might say, oh, it's just a double peel, but the impact it has on the game and on the end is massive.
Yeah, if you look at it from a 1 end at a time perspective, 9-8 in the 10th, that's winnable by either team.
Yeah. But yeah, Miss Evans with that double peel basically said, you know what? Never mind. I am going to make you work for anything that you can get.
Yeah. So they're going to keep trading guards because, to your point, Myla's only hope is a guard, a good guard. And that double peel brought the red rock into play and some other choices. Anyways, I am still putting my vote on the freeze for the steal of 2, but we can negotiate that farther in 5 more rocks.
Yeah. No, honestly, Team Deschiffart has had an outstanding game all through the lineup at this afternoon's draw. So it's going to be a really hard decision for us to pick that moment of the game, which I guess is a good thing.
I completely agree. But we still have 5 rocks to go in this game. Another really nicely thrown center guard. Let's not take that away from Melissa or any of the rest of the crew. Abby looking to take 1 more rock out of play. No real chances for a double or any kind of cute thing like that. So just peel the guard. Double peel just because.
Yeah,
it was far
nice.
enough out of play, but now it's more so out of play.
Yeah.
Myla has no choice but to keep protecting that rock in the top 4.
Yeah, Alyssa's gonna look here, deciding who she thinks is shot. A big issue is if they believe that red is shot, at one point they're going to have to come in and deal with that.
Correct. If they think they're shot, they can just keep guarding for their lives. What a daunting little guess that is.
Yeah.
I suppose at the end, if you're not sure, you just have to assume the worst and try some kind of tap on your own.
Yeah. You see sweepers right off of this one. Looks like it's just coming a little heavy, which is a little scary for Team Plett, but
another nice center guard. Does Deschiffart change a plan?
I don't think so, unless they believe that Plett is shot. So this might be a little inkling that Team Deschiffart thinks they're shot. But the other thing is, you see that red in the top of the house there, you always have that little angle, that angle slash. So you keep blowing up the guards here, and like I keep saying, make Plett work for their 2 or 1.
All right, well, here we go. Peel number, what is it, 6 for the end? 5 for sure. Just keeping it clean. Myla's got to earn the tie.
So this is where we'll see. They're going to take a look at this, because who is shot is the most important part of the end. If they believe it's them, and there's the sign for the tap. So I think they believe it's the red at the back of the house. And now this is scary, because you want to make this tap, but you want to make sure that, because no matter where you tap it, you're going to leave a double. You want to make sure that that double, or the hit for a single, is as hard as it can be.
Can you tap freeze this? Would that make it as hard as possible?
I think if you tap freeze, then Emma's just going to come and tap hers top 12 just to the button, and then you get your backing.
Because you're only at worst risking the tie.
Yeah, so I think you want to tap it to about the T line, maybe back button.
Sure.
But honestly, the unfortunate part about the setup right now is no matter what Myla does, Team Deschiffart has a shot.
Correct. That's where that second guard was saving their bacon.
Yeah.
All right. Myla looking to tap hers up minimum an inch, maximum 1.5 feet. This is a full team shot.
Yeah.
Myla likes it. Sweepers are really putting it into it, though.
Yeah, having to keep that line.
Over curling a bit, sliding it past, and they aren't even going to have to try. Unfortunate little error there in a fascinating game. Makes it a 10-8 win for Team Deschiffart.
Yeah, I got to say, Gord, from the start of the game to the end, it really was anyone's game. And then just to the later ends there, Team Deschiffart coming out on top.
Absolutely. I agree completely. They earned that win with a little bit of a better game.
Yeah.
So moment of the game? I know where mine is.
Yeah, so I was leaning towards that double peel, but I've gotten to pick a couple throughout the week, so I'm going to give you the last day.
Steal a 2 was where the whole thing fell on its head, so I'm giving that draw in 6.
Okay, I you know what? I like you said earlier for me, I can't argue with you, so I'll let Raymond know. And Emma Deschiffart, congratulations, moment of the game for that outstanding draw to steal 2.
On behalf of everybody here at Curling Stadium, thank you all for joining us. It was a fascinating game. Thank you, Rhett, for joining me. Thank you for Connor on the cameras. Outside of the dangling little wire, we had a brilliant game. I encourage you all to come back again and watch the rest of the games on TV or live. And we will see you around.
Yeah, thanks again, Gord.
Curling Alberta's 50-50 supports grassroots curling with a jackpot of at least $50,000. I know! Brace yourself. Join us aged 18 plus in nurturing these future curling stars. Support grassroots curling with Curling Alberta.
RME and New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Alberta's Summit of Champions. With 24 locations in Alberta, RME is your preferred CNH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.